Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchy's Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchy's is the place. Torchy's location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchy's has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchy's has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs. And everybody, welcome to the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk. I am Jason Pattison. We got John James, our photographer here at Hogville.net. He is our special guest this evening. John, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing really well, and I appreciate you having me on tonight. Thank you.
It is December 19th, 2024. I want to say a special thank you to Torchy's Tacos, as we are here live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. here at the Rogers location. And I want to say thank you to Marcus and all of his staff for all of their great service and hospitality they show us each and every week. Also want to thank Carbless Cocktails. They are going to be sending us, John, to the Liberty Bowl.
And that is going to be awesome. I'm looking so forward to that. I got to go a couple of years ago, and it was just an awesome experience, and I'm looking forward to doing it again for Hogville and for Torchy's.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, make sure to check out any of the 9 different flavors that Carbless offers. They have 8 of them in vodka, 1 in tequila. That is the margarita tequila and Carbless cocktail. Holy cow, this is Thursday night, man. It always happens sometimes. The Carbless cocktail, the only one in tequila that you can pick up here at Torchy's or any of your grocers in this great state. Also, make sure to stop by for the Swinger Taco, which is the taco of the month here at Torchy's. And you can also pick up any of their other great tacos or burritos that's on the menu and pair those with the queso, and that will open your taste buds to a whole new world. So, again, we're going to be going to the Liberty Bowl. We'll be there. We'll leave Friday morning early, and then we'll cover that. We'll come to you live just before the game as well, and might do a little pregame, might do a little postgame. I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but we'll be there Friday, coming back on Saturday, and we're excited to bring you guys all of the everything that happens inside the white lines, outside the white lines, whatever happens, though, we'll have you covered on that. So, again, we're going to bring on Otis here in just a second because, as you guys all know, Sam and his crew, they've been pretty active as far as in the portal. And let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Otis Kirk.
Hey, man.
Otis, how's it going?
You guys you and John are looking good, man. Looking good tonight.
Hey, I appreciate that, Otis.
Man, yeah. I'm going to tell you what, you got that Lakers gear going tonight, too.
Yeah, they play at 9 o'clock, but I feel like I played about 10 games. This 5 o'clock morning, 11 mornings in a row is pretty much wiped me out. But no, Arkansas, big day today. They picked up Corey Robinson II, offensive tackle, 6'5", 305. They picked up Caden Kittler, 6'3", 295 from UCL. Caden had a big laugh Monday or Tuesday when I told him that Gus Malzahn, his coach at UCF, used to play softball with me, was probably the best player that ever played with me. Caden didn't believe me, and I said, I promise you he can play. He won't tell you that, but Gus can play softball. But he got a big laugh out of that. But anyway, they picked up Jaquan McCroy earlier. He's 6'8", 375. Yeah. He can probably eat a few tacos up there. Kenai Walker from OU, cornerback. Ken Talley, defensive end from Michigan State. Kenai Walker's from OU, by the way. 6'2", 206, corner. Not a safe corner, 6'2", 206. Raylan Sharp, 5'9", 165 from Fresno State, Missouri State. Used to and then Fresno State. Ken Talley, 6'3", 256 from Michigan State.
Yeah.
Platt, 6'5", 260 from Texas A&M. And then Cam Shanks, 5'8", 180, and he's an All-America punt returner. Actually scored a touchdown against Arkansas this year for UAB on a 15-yard shuttle pass. But this kid's good. He even yesterday was named the Sport News first-team All-America punt returner. Led the nation in punt return yards. So he'll play receiver, but he'll also be a punt returner for Arkansas. He's at UAB, if anyone's wondering. They played Arkansas, lost 37-27, but he had a touchdown. Arkansas tried to get his teammate, too, Adrian Maddox, a safety, but he was here yesterday. They've actually got 3 kids on campus today. Kavion Broussard, an offensive lineman from Ole Miss, is here. Justice Boone, defensive end from Florida. And Quintavious Skandrick, a defensive back from Eastern Michigan. And, man, that's a name. Quintavious Skandrick, defensive back from Eastern Michigan. So that's 3 kids that's on campus today. They've got 8 signed. These are signed, not commitments. These are signed kids. I think that's about 32 or 33 with the ones they signed in December. People have asked me about Davila, but he's not portal. That's a junior college player, you know. So that's why I don't mention him he's signed and he's solid. I mean, he's signed, but I don't mention him because he's not a portal kid. He's actually a junior college player like Bubba Craig. So, I mean, he's not going to be mentioned in the portal kids. But, that's where they're at right now. People ask me how many they'll sign. They're going to sign as many as they can. I mean, there's a cutoff. They've got a limit. They've got a set number at each position they want. Courtney Crutchfield entered the portal today from Missouri.
Yep, saw that.
And his name jump on board pretty soon. That's huge. That kid's good. I thought he's the best player. He and Charlie Collins were the 2 best seniors at state last year, and in my opinion. And
they're cousins, aren't they?
Yeah, they're cousins, and they're heck of football players too. Charlie wasn't happy when Courtney went to Missouri, but I think going to get him the second time around. So, Courtney's big-time receiver. This weekend, we'll find out on the Maldi kid, Ishmael Maldi from Texas State, a running back. Well, they need him bad. He is a stud. I saw a couple of times when I left the show there at Torchy's, and I told him this the other morning. When I left Torchy's a couple of times, they played on Thursday night once or twice. I would come home and watch them on TV.
That hell of a system down there in Texas State for the last couple of years. They've had, I do believe, 10 wins.
DJ Kinney is a good coach, and that's why I watched him. He's a good coach. I really like that man. He's a very good coach, and I just happened to watch Maldi play, and he's the running back, and I'd really like to see them get. Kendrick Law is being rumored to go to Kentucky, but he was here. From Born and Warren, I thought they'd get Kendrick. I really did. They need him. If not, they need Omega Blake, that was here today, that left before I got there at 5:30. He'd already got on a plane.
Holy cow!
Yeah. I didn't get up 5:30. I got there at 5:30 and still missed him. So that's how early he left.
Otis, I got a question for you, real quick.
Yeah.
You got enough Red Bull?
Yeah, I've got Red Bulls. I went and bought a 4-pack today. I didn't buy one. I bought a 4-pack. Yeah, I've got Red Bulls. I mean, I need them because, like I said, I'm getting up. Tomorrow will be 12 mornings in a row. Jeez. 12 mornings in a row. And I haven't taken a day off. 12 mornings in a row it'll be tomorrow, and it'll be 14 come Sunday because I'm not taking any days off. So
Monday, man, right there.
Monday I may die. And not get up Monday. I mean. John said he's going to see me in the morning, and I said, "Man, just meet me for lunch because I don't know where." I might be out chasing recruits at 7. Well, I mean, I will be at 7, but I may be there till 10 o'clock. I don't know. And today I was there till 9:30 and didn't get to talk to anybody because the kid left at 5:30 or before 5:30, and I didn't know it. So I sat there for 4 hours for nothing. So I mean, that's the way it goes. It happens. It happens. It's happened before, and it'll happen again. But I've also talked to a lot of kids this week. I've talked to a lot of players, and Arkansas is in good shape with a lot of these players. Like I said, they got to get Maldi, Crutchfield. They need another receiver in addition to Crutchfield, whether it's Law, Blake, whoever. The defensive back from UAB that was here yesterday, they need to get him a safety. The cornerback, Jordan Young from Cincinnati. A defensive back, Jordan Young from Cincinnati. He played corner up there, but he can play safety, hog position. He can play anywhere. Those are some of the kids they really need to get. Any of these kids that's here today, they've got to get some defensive backs, more safeties now. They may have signed their corners in one day when they signed Davila and they signed Kanai Walker. They may have signed their starting corners right there in one day last Saturday. That was a heck of a day for Marcus Woodson and Darren Wilson. But yeah. Red Bull is they need to sponsor this place, man. They need to sponsors.
I think it's really good for them to get that punt returner from UAB as well, because there's so many times that you can fair catch a ball before you say, when are we going to make a move? And I think I think Sam has found that in the returner from UAB.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see as many fair catches for this kid. Maybe so. I don't know. I know a lot. I don't think it was all Satana. I think some of that was Sam's doing or Fountain. But I think they'll turn this kid loose a little bit more because he's proven. As a freshman, he was All-America, first-team All-America. So, I mean, you don't want to tie his hands behind his back. I mean, you got to turn him loose and let him go, man. I mean, and Arkansas saw him firsthand. He played against the Razorbacks. So, They didn't let him break one, but he did get a touchdown on a pass receiving. Caught a touchdown pass against the Hogs. So, this kid's good. I mean, he may be from UAB. I don't care where they're from. They can play. I mean, Ole Miss got the offensive guard from UAB today. I mean, I'll tell you who I feel sorry for. UAB is the coach there, man. I don't know.
Trent Dilfer, yeah.
I don't know him, but my God, he's getting wiped out in the portal. And, you know, Arkansas lost a lot of kids, but Sam can go get others. You can go get others.
Yeah.
Texas can go get others. Arizona State, but UAB is not going to get the quality of kids that they're losing. And it's just sad. I mean, they're just getting – the linebacker that committed to Arkansas 2 or 3 years ago had a good game against Arkansas. I think he had like 8 tackles. Arkansas is not recruiting him, but he's in the portal.
Yeah.
Safety, the offensive lineman, the wide receiver, punt return. I mean, it's just they're getting wiped out down there, and I mean they're getting cherry picked to death. And then that's just life. You know, and that's one thing I've told people. Used to gripe about the smaller schools. Used to, you'd see those kids getting drafted in the NFL, but now they're not staying at those schools, so you won't be seeing as many UAB kids getting drafted because of that good. They're probably going to move on after 1 or 2 years, and so it's changed. College football has changed, man. You can decide if it's for the better or not. I mean, we can debate that. I mean, I can listen to sides, but I'm just telling you, it has changed, and I don't see it. I mean, you might as well accept it as it is. I mean, if you don't, you can fight it, but it is what it is. And I mean, there's things I don't like about it. There's things I like about it. But the time we live in is 2024. There's nothing going on. I get that stupid message. What's going on, Otis? There's nothing going on. It's just 2024. Kids are leaving for money. They're leaving for money. There's money out there, and they're coming because of money. I mean, it's free agency in college football. I mean, it's just free agency in college sports, and it is what it is. It's just it's not changing. If it may change, but if it does, we'll adjust with it. But that's all I've done is just adjusted with the times and not sit here and rap about, well, the old days, it was great in the old days. I mean, hell with that. I mean,
old days are gone now.
We're living in the now. I mean, you better live in the present if you're doing this job, and then the now and the present, and that's what I live in. So, I mean, but I am looking forward to going to the Liberty Bowl with you guys and Jerry Meadows and getting away from all this for a couple of days. I really am. I'm not going to lie to you.
I was going to say, we're just going to be able to hit the road and not have to worry about portal mess. We're just going to hit the road, do our thing, and that's it.
I'm sure somebody will commit because this stuff ain't going to end, even though it closes Sunday. That's not going to end it because the rule is after the bowl game, they've got 5 days to leave the school they're at. So these schools playing bowl games tonight, those kids have 5 days to leave. So it's going to be going all the way through. It ain't going to change. But I won't have to worry about it if I'm driving. I mean, we'll let Dudley take it, man. We'll let Dudley. Dudley, I got a question for you, buddy. You want to do some recruiting?
No doubt. So,
I don't
quick
know
question
on anybody, much less Dudley. So I'll probably do it when I get to Memphis if there is somebody, but it's not going to be break. I mean, I'm going to do it in my convenience because I'm going to be driving.
Yeah, man, I'm going to tell you. So I got a question for you. So if you've got players that are going to be playing in CFP in the national championship on January, I think, is it 13th?
I thought the championship was the 20th.
20th.
I
So
think it's
they
the 20th.
have.
I may be wrong, but I think it's the 20th.
Yeah, it is the 20th. So if they've got 5 days after the 20th, but that means that spring semester's already started. How does that work?
Well, you just have what would happen if let's say two kids in that, no matter, we don't know who's going to be in the championship game, but let's say two kids in that championship game want to come to Arkansas. Arkansas would have to go to the U of A and ask for
A transfer waiver.
Yeah, a waiver. Yeah, transfer waiver. They'd have to ask for it. Doesn't mean they'll get it, but they have gotten them in the past, and they've been denied in the past. So, but all they can do is go ask, and it's not just going to be Arkansas. There's going to be other schools that have started semesters. I think you have 5 days here, 5 days after the semester starts to enroll, and you start 5 days late, but that's going to be like 2 weeks. So they would have to get a waiver, Jason, and then they can request it. Hopefully the U of A is in a good mood when they go request it, because these are good players off the national championship. We're off the championship team, and I don't know if anybody's going to do that and won't come to Arkansas, but that's what would happen if they did. That was the question, and I'm answering this if they did. I don't say Otis Kirk said 2 players off the championship never come to Arkansas. I didn't say that. I said if they did, for instance, then they would have to ask for a waiver. I don't even know who's going to be in the championship game, so I couldn't tell you who's transferred to Arkansas. I don't even know who's playing. I don't even know which 2 teams will be in it.
I think the burning question with a lot of fans too is going after the bowl game. You find out kind of exactly how everything kind of settles out after the bowl game, after Arkansas's 5 days. How many scholarships is Sam going to hold over to possibly snag one of these kids that's coming off of one of these teams that's making a deep run in the CFP? Is he going to, is he going to have his 85, or is he going to hold 5 or 6 out just in case if something happens in spring or right after the championship?
I think there'll be some holdovers, because there'll be some held, not necessarily for that, but there always is, because what they do, they sign as many as they can get in the early signing period. What's left, they get them in the spring, after the spring, when it opens up in April, I believe it is, or May, when the period opens up. That's when you get. The only thing back then you can't take kids from the SEC in spring. You can now, but once you get in that second open period, you can't take kids from the other SEC schools. You can now, but there'll be, if somebody wants to come, there'll be a scholarship for him, Jason. If it's somebody Arkansas wants, it will be a scholarship. He will hold. Not necessarily hold. They'll just be. They're not going to sign 20, 25 kids early. They're just not. They've got 8. They might if they hit some home runs, they might get close to 15 or 20. There'll still be some scholarships if they want. They're not going to turn down a great player. They're not in a position to turn down a great player.
Yep, and because it's basically a second signing class for Sam now with the portal.
Yeah, and that'd be if everything falls right to get to that number, and we know it's not all going to fall in place. It's like we thought Kendrick Law was pretty much a lock for Arkansas, and now he may go to Kentucky. So this stuff never falls as you think. It just hopefully it does. But okay.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, that's why I put it on there on the bottom of that screen. It says the portal. It's a crazy living creature. It is, because it's constantly evolving. It's constantly moving.
Well,
and
people got to remember, it taketh, but it also giveth. And that's why you can't freak out when you start hearing 10, 20 kids leaving Arkansas. You got to wait till see who comes, because it taketh, but it also giveth. And it works both ways. There's no sense freaking out, because it's the way it is in 2024. 2025 will be the same way. 2023, 2022 was the same way. There's nothing happening. There's nothing wrong. What's going on? That question, there's nothing going on. It's just the way the times they are right now. And this is what college football and sports is all about. Basketball. That's why
it's a mindset for fans, because
13 new players or 12 new players on the basketball team on scholarship. 13, exactly. So we got 12 new players. So it's not just football. It's every sport and every school.
Yeah, because a lot of fans.
Arizona State's in the playoffs, guys. They got 12 kids in the portal. Arizona State is in the playoffs, and they got 12 kids in the portal. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. One of the things that fans have got to understand too, and I think it's always hard when there's change, and there's a lot of change that's happening. Yeah. So a lot of fans that's why you have so many vocal fans that are out there thinking that the university's football team is about to fall off the edge of the earth. And a lot of fans are going to have to understand now is that you cannot have the same rah-rah mentality of, we have an in-state kid, We're going to give him some portal. We're going to give him some NIL money. He's going to stay at Arkansas for 3 or 4 years, and he's going to be the homegrown kid. He's going to lead Arkansas to victory. That type of mentality is out the door. You're now rooting for the jersey and the people that are guiding, basically being GMs at this point until one's put in place. And I wouldn't say blindly, but kind of blindly following Sam and whoever else is back there pulling the strings, making the deals happen, and trusting the staff that's in place right now and not root for these kids.
One thing I will say about these kids leaving the state, they think it's cool to go out of state, but they might look at one situation. Walker White and T.J. Lindsey went to Auburn. Both of them are in the transfer portal after a year there. Courtney Crutchfield went to Missouri. He's in the portal. So I'm just telling you, it's not, the grass is not always greener on the other side. I know it sounds cool to go to OU or go somewhere, but I'm just telling you, the kids that left the state, probably the three best players that left the state last year are already back in the portal. So, I mean,
I like C.J. Brown's tweet. I saw you repost that just in case, just because the grass is greener on the other side. How about you water your own grass and watch it grow?
Yeah. So, I mean, some Razorback posted that and I retweeted. That
was C.J. Brown.
Yeah, C.J. Brown. That's the thing. I mean, there's not very many C.J. Browns out here in the world right now, but I'm just telling you, man, these kids are leaving and going out of state. They think it's cool to go to these schools, but and I'm not knocking them, but I mean, they're finding out that it's not necessarily what you think it is out there. You better stop and think about it, because here, people in Arkansas, the state loves you, and all I'm saying is the top players last year are already leaving after a year there. So figure out, take that and do what you want with it. I'm just telling you the facts.
Yep, man. Well, Otis, thank you for joining us. Let's get you some rest. You got to get out of here. You got a Lakers game. You got to get on to here before too long.
And a few hours after that, I'll be at the portal. So, okay, guys. Well, thanks a lot, John. I love you, man. Have fun up there tonight. Just have fun. Don't worry about it. Just have fun, man.
Thank you, sir. I'll see you tomorrow.
You bet.
All right, Otis, man, thank you so much. All right, y'all, that was Otis Kirk. I want to say thank you for him joining us tonight. Man, that was some good stuff from Otis, wasn't it?
It was some great stuff. I mean, he is the man when it comes to recruiting.
There's a reason why I put it on there that he's the man, the myth, and the legend. There's a reason
see why.
There is a sole reason why that happened.
I mean, he's done it for what, 45 years? Yeah. So, I mean, he knows everything there is to know about Razorback sports and these incoming kids.
Yeah.
And how the families just love him. I mean, I see it every Saturday when we're waiting for our credentials to get in. These parents are walking by, shaking Otis's hand, giving him a hug, and I'm not sure who they are sometimes, and he'll tell me who they are and all that. It's just amazing.
Well, that's the thing, too, is that not only is it that they pick him out of a crowd, he can recognize them in the crowd and know, oh, that's who that is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Man, I'm tell you what, that's the reason why he is the legend. That's the reason why I put it on the very end as well. So John, I want to talk. We're going to go to break here in just probably about 5 so minutes, but I want to talk about this with you for just a minute, because it affects you as well with the transfer portal, because you start to gain relationships not only with these players, because you're on the sidelines.
Correct. And
that's what and I know that folks have heard Otis mention John before, and as you can see, he is the myth and the legend, John the Baptist, as Otis affectionately refers to him as. Whenever you start to, you see these players on the field in August, you're out there, you're sweating your rear off, and you're getting great shots. You have family members come back to you and say, you know what, that was the greatest shot I've seen of my son in a long time. Thank you. I mean, how does that make you feel?
Oh, words can't describe how it makes me feel that a parent who really doesn't know who I am has noticed one of my pictures through either Hogville or on the website, and they DM me and told me what a great shot it was and how much they enjoy what I do for them, giving back, because they're not always able to get these pictures.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've always enjoyed doing, and it just lights up my eyes when I get a chance to do it for any athlete that comes through the university, whether it's 1 year or 4 years.
Caleb James's dad, Adam James, great guy.
He is.
Air Force veteran, love that guy to death. And he had messaged me and said, hey, if you see, if you're able to get a couple of pictures of Caleb during fall camp, and I talked to you about that as well.
Correct.
And he said, if you can get a few pictures, send them my way. And I understand those things because whenever these families are out of town, we're kind of
we're their lifeline, basically.
We're the person that's bringing to them what's going on a day-to-day basis with their sons. Because again, I know it's cliche-ish, but yes, they have entrusted this staff with their kid to develop them not only as a football player mentally and physically, but as a person, spiritually and interpersonally as well.
Exactly.
And what you're able to do is you're able to catch those moments where there is maybe some difficulty, where they've had a hard practice, for instance, or you catch the raw emotion of a play where them and another, say for instance, a defensive offensive lineman kind of get into it a little bit. We only see the very first parts of practice, so we only see the indie drills and whatnot, but you still see them out there busting their humps because, I mean, let's face it, we get out there those first 10 minutes, it's not cool.
No, it's not. And that's why my head's on a swivel the entire time that I'm out there to shoot for whatever Otis needs. And, you know, when there's new kids that come in, like for next year, you know, there'll be 25, 30, 40 new kids that come in that we're going to have to shoot next spring. So you're constantly on a swivel trying to get, and then Otis will give me a list of the players that he will need to start writing stories on and things like that. And then Otis sometimes shoots the photographs of the families, and it's quite an honor. It really is.
And that's the thing too, is that when you're not shooting them for the families, you're shooting them for Hogville and for Pig Trail Nation that are being used for our stories. We're whenever, like for instance, with our opening that we have that I built, that it's on the front. All those photos, the only photo that I know of personally that is not in that was not shot by you, was the one with Sam on his hip, with his hands on his hips in preseason. I got that one. Other than that, everything is you.
Yeah, and that's what I have to do. I mean, it's just a constant grind, you know, especially since we're very limited with how much time we have in spring practice to get these athletes. And you just have to look for that one shot. And sometimes I don't even know that I've got the shot until I get in to start looking at everything. And that's what makes this job so much fun.
It is. So real quick, before we go to break here, you don't shoot for just football, though. That's what a lot of people don't know. Tell me.
That is correct. I shoot for Kevin McPherson in basketball, and I will shoot also ladies basketball for Dudley Dawson. I also am big into the baseball with Dudley. And then KNWA will have me shoot sometimes ladies softball. I will shoot soccer. So really anything that they need me to do, volleyball. Yeah. I've shot some gymnastics. That's been a lot of fun to do that. So really it's just whatever the team needs me to do, I'm there for that reason.
Yep. We're going to go in a little bit more of that. Also, we're going to talk about some more, I would say more portal and more than anything else when we come back to. And we'll also go to the SEC today. But I want to go more. I want to dig more into this because there's a lot of folks that don't get to see the inner workings behind the scenes. And this is kind of one of those episodes where we're able to. It's Christmas time. It's a time for family. It's a time for togetherness. We're here together, but these players are now traveling with the teams, and they'll be with their families for a little while after the bowl game. And that's what I kind of wanted to touch on with you after the break is what you're able to do for these families, kind of like what we're talking about. We'll go a little bit more into that here in just a moment.
Be happy to, Jason.
All right, y'all. We'll be back here in just a moment, and we're here live at Torchies and Rogers. Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchy's Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchy's is the place. Torchy's location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory.
Torchy's has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchy's has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.
And everybody, welcome back to the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk. I'm Jason Patterson with special guest John James, photographer for Hogville.net. I want to thank Torchy's for their hospitality. They show us each and every week at 7 o'clock every Thursday night that we are here live bringing you all the information that you need to stay up to date with Razorback Nation. Also want to thank Carbless Cocktails. Make sure to check out any of their 8 great flavors. 9 grape flavors, 8 vodka, 1 margarita. They are 0 sugar and they are 0 carbs and 100 calories. Yeah.
Really, that's great. Yeah, I'll look at that.
Got a couple of them right there sitting on the table.
Well, there you go.
You can find those here exclusively here at Torchy's or at any of your grocers. So be sure to check out any of those great cocktails. Also pair that with the Torchy's Taco of the Month, the Swinger. It has got a little bit of pork with some pineapple, some cilantro. Spice it up a little bit if you want to. Put on some Diablo sauce if you really want to.
If you like that, sure.
That kick in the mouth. The only thing is, man, it kicks me in the mouth, the gut, and everywhere else you can think of. But my God, that's why I can't handle the hot stuff. But that's all right. But
it's all good.
It's all good. All right, y'all. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, throw those up. They're good, bad, or ugly. We'll get those taken care of and put on there. Otis was with us shortly ago, giving us a rundown of the portal. As you all know, that is a living beast, if we've ever seen one. And so I want to thank John again for joining me tonight. Now I want to drill into this. When you go to the games, especially football, I've seen you at basketball, I've seen you at baseball, which, by the way, you have a pretty sweet seat at baseball.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Had that for years. So, yeah.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, there's a lot of jealous people out there if they saw what city you sit in, buddy.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hey, that's why we get the great shots.
That's exactly right.
Why we get the great shots, y'all. So, want to come up after the game or during halftime, see you in the back over in the press box or Razorback Stadium, doesn't matter, sweating head to toe. One thing you're doing,
or freezing to death, one or the other,
that's the truth, is you're constantly updating the photos, you're revising the photos, you're cleaning them up from the shots that you get on the field. It's not a job that is cut and dry. I get the shot, we're done, we're out of the stadium, I'm going to go home and it's me time. What does that look like for you when you get out of there?
It's not. I mean, I have several hours worth of work to do once I do leave the stadium. A lot of times I get there right when the press door opens so I can get down onto the field because I get some of my best shots while they're warming up, while they're practicing, doing different things, because the athletes were always doing something goofy or funny, and they're nice shots to have. But yeah, during the half of a football game, I'm constantly updating and sending the photos to my writers that I've got, and for that. And then at the end of the game, I will go up to the press box and look at what I've done for the second half and send those out to everybody, including KNWA. And Then once I get home, I go back through all the photos again, and that could be 300 that I've taken during that day, and I delete kind of what's not the best. But I work on all the photos. So when Otis or Jason or somebody has another story that they want to write on somebody and they may need that player, I've gone through and cropped it down, highlighted it as we needed to. So just so it looks a little bit better when it goes out onto the website. So yeah, there's several more hours of work that I have to do once I do get home from shooting a game. So even though we may leave the stadium at 11 o'clock at night, it may be 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning before I'm physically done with what I need to do for the company.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what. That's the thing too, is that it's the warriors like you that put in the time that make the product what it is. We can wordsmith it, but we can't make it look good. We can't make it look sexy, and that's where those photos come into play. Is that you're able to accentuate and express the words on the page with the scenario that we're trying to portray, and that's where those shots come in. I mean, what is it that you're able to do to kind of anticipate these shots where you think, okay, I think something's about to happen?
Sometimes it's just a feeling. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there. Sometimes it's just a feeling. Sometimes it's just luck. A lot of times it's just keeping your head on a swivel and catching things. A lot of times I'll get a note from one of the writers at halftime saying, okay, Green's having a great ball game. What do you have from him? We might want to use him in several articles. So that's constantly being sent to me, so I know what's going on. But if I've caught something that's really, really great that I think they can use, I automatically will shoot that up there, because I like for us to have the first shot of getting anything out with stories that come. So
it's really important to get evergreen photos too, because these aren't things that we use just during football season, because these are shots that we have to use during the off season, because there's things that happen. There's news that gets put out there that we have to report on. So not only are we able to get some shots that we may not use during the season, but you're able to provide those shots for us whenever those stories happen, so that way it has a fresh look to it still.
Exactly. It may be something that I've caught in spring practice, with players that come in, and I just send them all to everybody, and they have their own files that they do, so they know what's going on. Or somebody will send me a text and say, hey, I'm looking for a photo of so-and-so. What do you have? And I'll go back through my library and look at it to make sure it looks good and it's, what they would want, and send it out to them so they have it for the story.
Do you have any cool, cool stories that you've had, like interactions or with parents? Because you shoot so many sports, you make so many connections with some of these players' parents and families. Are there any cool stories that you can kind of divulge to us?
Yeah, I can a little bit. I'm not going to divulge who the player is or the family, but during baseball or during football, somebody has gotten to know me through seeing my website, which is John D. James. If anybody wants to friend me, I'm happy to friend them back, and they can look at more of the photos. But sometimes I'll be leaving Razorback Stadium and somebody will just holler my name, and I'm not really sure who they are, and they'll bring their son over and introduce them to me, and I'll take some photos for them. Because that's what they want me to do, and I'll send it to them. It's just my kind of way of giving back to the families, because these kids are just pouring their hearts out for this university. Baseball, sometimes just out of the blue, and I don't know how they do it, they will get my address, and I will get a very nice note from somebody that has appreciated everything I've done throughout the year and just wanted to thank me for all the hard work that I put in the time, because they know that I've got a job to do and I've got to take care of everybody first, but I also will take the time the next day or day after to send the photos to those families that may live in, let's say, Hawaii, or just don't live in state and can't be here to watch their son play. And these photos really mean the world to them.
So really quick, I want to ask you about this too. Say if there's a youngster out there, younger kid, boy, girl, whoever it is, what is your advice to them if they have a passion, if they have an eye, they want to expand on their creativity and wanting to become a photographer, what type of advice would you give them?
Well, I started out before I went to work for Hogville. I just started out with a small Nikon camera, and just that's how I tested the market with it. I would just sit in a different seat and move around Balm or wherever I were, and would take photographs. And then as I went home, I would practice on cropping and different things along that line. And so I would just tell anybody just to start out small, go to whatever event you're looking for. You can get close enough with the seats to take the great photographs, and then you can go home and decide what you need to do. And then as you feel more comfortable, just go up to the different size camera and the lenses, and that'll help you so much into making the great photos that you see out today.
That equipment's not cheap either. It's pretty expensive.
It is.
Is there a recommendation, say for instance there's a kid that wants to get into photography, that a parent can go out there and get them a quality camera that's not going to break the bank?
There is it's an ES 50 or 60, I believe, and you can find it at Best Buy, and it's just a small basic camera that comes with 2 lenses, and that it's about $500, $550, and that is something that won't break the bank. The child can use both lenses to get used to how they, to set the lighting or the aperture on things, and learn how to zoom in and zoom out on different things. So that's what I would kind of recommend, is to start out small like that. And then the better you get, or you do want to go into this full time, then you might take a few classes. I've been very fortunate that a lot of the photographers have kind of taken me under their wing and have really kind of helped me with certain things, which has helped me grow. And then as I went to work for Hogville, I had to upgrade to get the better equipment. So we had the quality photographs that the company needed.
Yep. And I know that some folks might have swallowed their gum whenever they heard a $550 price point, but in retrospect, or looking at things as far as when you go to look at professional cameras, that's not very much, because there's cameras out there that are $8, $10, $12, $16,000.
You're exactly right. Lenses can run you up to 20, 25,000. The cameras can run you up to 10. So that's a great starting point before, and just see if it's something that you want to do before you invest all the money into something big, and then you decide a year down the road it's not something that you're really wanting to do. But that's kind of how I started, was just getting a basic camera. I just went to events, started shooting. Believe me, if you could see some of the original photos that I took, they are not good at all. They're really not. I would be ashamed if anybody ever saw any of those. But it was just a learning curve. And, as time went on, people would see what I was doing, and they would say, well, are you doing this? Are you doing that? So there are tons of people out there that are willing to help you. You can take classes at Bedford. You can learn yourself. Go online and take classes. You might do that before you even invest in some type of a camera to do that. But that's kind of where I would start, with some type of a Nikon or Canon camera.
One of the also cheaper options too, and I've toyed with this before as well, if it's something that you're wanting to experiment with, but you're not wanting to just go full Monty, $550, you could go to Bedford and you could go rent a camera for a weekend.
You can, and that's
cheaper.
Another great idea. And a lot of people have the iPhones have gotten so good. Just to have an iPhone.
Quality is
exactly. It really is. And sometimes just taking a picture with an iPhone can be better than sometimes what I take. Somebody will look at that and I'm like, wow, how did I, so it's a learning curve, but yes, you can. And that's another great thing that Jason brought up, is you can go and rent these lenses or cameras for a weekend and to see how you're going to like them, because some of them are going to require a pose that you're going to have to stand up and hold because the lenses are extremely heavy.
So when your pods come in handy, real
they really
fast,
do. You really do. The only bad part about that is you get crashed into a lot when you're at basketball, and in football, you just have to watch out for, because you're shooting and you don't know who's around you, and the next thing you know, you've got a player right there, about to just run over you, basically. And then a lot of them, once they get to know who you are, will start to do special little things in front of the camera just for you that you can take pictures of.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really kind of is. And so I'll make sure the parents get those, but they'll do, something just for that particular photographer.
Yeah, man. So that's some really good information. That's the reason why I wanted you on here.
Well, I
tonight,
appreciate
man.
that. It's been a lot of fun.
Man, we're not done yet.
I know.
Are you
I
kidding
know,
me?
I know.
Dude, we gotta go. We gotta look at the SEC today. Man, let's take a look at that. So we got 3 ball games this weekend. I got my story that's going to be coming out on KNWA Pick Trail Nation tomorrow morning. I got to finish it up because there's some tie-ins that I want to kind of bring into it. So first off, tomorrow 2:30 ESPN 2. You've got Florida taking on Tulane. I'm going to tell you something, man. I thought that Billy Napier was dead in the water. I thought this sucker
I agree.
I thought he was gone. I had him pegged to be gone by 6 games after that crap show with Miami at the first of the season.
Yes.
Now, look at it. They are a 10-point favorite against a 9-4 Tulane team, which is, I do believe, 3rd or 2nd in the AAC. No, 3rd in the AAC because you had Army, which was 11-1, and then you had Memphis at 10-2, and then Tulane at 9-4. So going into this game, DJ Lagway, quarterback for Florida, man, I'm telling you what, they had a hell of a great showing last game of the season. I don't know if they can cover the 10 points. I really think they're going to win a bowl game, and I think they're going to spite some people in Florida.
I think you're exactly right. I do like Florida in this ball game, and I'm going to go against you on this, Jason. I do think that Florida will cover the 10 points. It's just a feeling I've got. I don't know anything. I don't have any inside information. So if you're a betting person, please don't. Please don't go to somewhere and say, well,
Disclaimer,
John said,
do not take John James's advice,
exactly.
but this is what he thinks.
I can't do that, but I do like Florida in this ball game.
Man, I'm going to tell you what. So 2:30 tomorrow on ESPN2. I'll have a little bit more on that as well. Okay, now you've got Clemson taking on Texas. Now this is some fun stuff. This is the first time not only have fans, college football players, and media all at the same time get to experience a playoff game at home.
And that's a big plus. I mean, I
This
love
is
the
huge.
I love the new playoff system. I think it's great to how they've done this and where you have a home game. Nothing is like being at a college football game. There's really not.
No, there's not. And the thing is that now you have this is really kind of what I've kind of alluded to at the first of the season is this is becoming more of a pro sport than a lot of people think, faster than they think. This is one of those spots now because you've got a home game, which is a playoff game.
Correct.
In front of a home crowd in Texas, which I think this is probably the first time in a long time that a crowd at Darrell Royal Stadium is going to go to a game and not have to wear.
There'll be plenty of orange.
Yeah, they're going to have to wear something warm.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a new experience for everybody. You're not going to be in Miami or you're not going to be in Arizona in a dome. So that's what makes these first part of games so great is you're playing in the actual elements. And that's just the old school football that I've always liked.
Yeah. Man, I'm going to tell you, and that's one of the things that I think it's going to be great on campus. But I think that whenever you have a game like this, it seems like kind of the road team has a little bit more momentum because
correct,
they go through everything that leads up to the game. This is going to be completely different though, because it's something new, and when you have something new, crazy stuff happens.
It does all the time.
Crazy stuff happens.
It just happens, and now you're playing for something that's real. Not that winning the conference or your conference championship isn't a great accomplishment for these kids, but now you're one of the 12 teams in the college football playoff that we've been begging for years. And so it's going to be more than just your normal beginning of the year college football game where somebody plays in a dome. I mean, you're going to be out in the elements, and it could be snowing in Texas. It could be raining in Texas. It could be 38 degrees. And you're
this
just
time
going
of
to
year that could happen. I know. I went to basic in San Antonio during this time, 15 years ago. Gosh dang it, a long time ago. And whenever that happened, I mean, it was cold outside. Now, I don't know which Quinn Ewers is going to show up for this game, because you've had good Quinn Ewers, you've had bad Quinn Ewers.
You have.
So you could have Quinn Ewers that played against Florida, and I know I'm not trying to extrapolate the opponent here, but it was a home game. He was able to get into a rhythm early. I remember listening to that first drive. It was 10 yards, 11 yards, 15 yards, 9 yards.
Exactly.
He was chunking it the first of the game.
Yeah, he was.
He got into a rhythm. They steamrolled Florida.
Yeah, they did.
Now you fast forward that.
But
look what happened.
Florida's not the same team they were when Texas came rolling into town.
Well, look what happened with Texas and Arkansas, for instance.
Exactly.
You saw bad Quinn Ewers. You saw bad Quinn Ewers against Georgia.
Yeah.
That's what got him beat.
Yeah, it was. Exactly. And quite honestly, I think the Clemson game that's on Saturday is going to be one of the big upsets of the college football playoff. I'm actually taking Clemson over Texas. And I would take the points too. I think it's a 12-point spread, but I think Clemson is going to come in and kind of. I don't think Ewers is going to have it. I think they're going to have some issues with the Clemson defense, and I like Clemson in that ball game.
Can you imagine what they're going to do to Sark if he loses the first CFP game at home?
I know it would not be good. It would not be good at all. So, but that's just my prediction. It could be totally wrong, but I'm going to go with that's going to be the first big upset, I think, and everything else may fall into place after that. But I just think Clemson's kind of on a little bit of a roll. I like their offense. I love their defense, and I just think they have something that can, a lot like Georgia did, can just kind of take it into Texas and do something and come out with a W.
So I'm not going to give you my pick. I'm gonna make
come
people,
on, man.
I'm gonna make people read this thing tomorrow.
Okay, do that then. That'll work.
If you want to know what my picks are for the two CFP games, you're gonna have to read that tomorrow morning on Picture Nation. Okay, so now fast forward. That's gonna be at 3:00 on TNT, y'all, for the Texas Clemson game, which Texas is a 12-point favorite. Next, you've got the primetime game. This is a vast difference in weather. You've got now Ohio State at the Horseshoe. They're welcoming Tennessee. It's going to be at 7 p.m. on ABC and ESPN. Ohio State's a 7.5-point favorite. Kansas State transfer Will Howard. He's done great for Ohio State. He's pretty much been their offense because Quinshon Judkins transferred from Ole Miss. The last 3 years, he has went down in production steadily every year. And now you got Will Howard, which is kind of taking the reins, going against the Tennessee defense is pretty stinking stout.
They are. Yeah, they really are. And you saw that when they came up here and played Arkansas. I mean, how stout that defense was.
And it took Malachi Singleton
to come in and save the day. Yeah, he really did. I hate that Malachi went into the portal. I thought he was a great backup quarterback and could have been somebody that could have led Arkansas after Green decided to leave. But that was his choice, and I get it. So
I got a couple of stats here that I'm trying to get off the top of my head here. So whenever Tennessee is on the road, they only average, I think it's right around 3 trips inside the red zone per game. Now, if they're at home, it's double
that, right?
So now you're looking at a Tennessee offense with Dylan. I forgot. Hold on, it's Dylan Sampson.
Correct.
He has literally led every rushing statistic in the SEC this year. He's the SEC leader in rushing. When you got a guy like Nico Iamaleava, he has not been what you thought he was going to be at the first of the season. It is not translated to the end of the season. He's only averaging 191 yards through the air against the 4 ranked opponents that they've played this year.
Exactly. And I think that's going to be a big issue coming in with Tennessee coming in with their defense because Tennessee will just pin their ears back and come after you. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I'm going to tell you what, I think Ryan Day in that defense is going to make Nico beat him with his arm. They're going to try to do everything they can to shut down Dylan Sampson and make Tennessee one-dimensional. Now, here's the thing. Tennessee runs the ball 60% of the time. And they're converting third downs per game. Now, with those types of numbers, it almost sounds like that they're going to have to really rely on that rushing, and you might see where you have a rock meets a hard place at this point.
Exactly. Again, I don't know if Tennessee has the horses. I know they're playing in the shoe. Tennessee plays in front of 102,000.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what the shoe holds
They're
right
right
now.
around that. Yeah.
About the same thing.
So it's the big stage is not going to make them shy away.
No,
whatsoever.
exactly. Not at all. I just think that's going to be. I think this is going to be one of those that may come down to the final drive. Somebody kicks a field goal to win it. If I had to pick, I think Ohio State would come out ahead just on that fact. But it's going to be. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. It may be a 18-12 or 21-24, something along that line. But
you're like the king of crazy numbers for projecting the
pretty
final
much.
score.
That's what I do all the time. I just like to throw that little input out there. So.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, because we'll get our weekly picks thrown out there, which, by the way, I'll have that out to you guys on Monday for the Razorback game on Saturday or Friday, yeah. But the thing is that y'all, you have to understand something for just a second. We have our text message string that I get all the picks from Hogville folks, and I put that in the story. And I can guarantee every time John's going to give me this crazy off-the-wall number. Arkansas is going to win 26-18. I'm like, where does this guy get this stuff?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's something fun, and I just play with it and just kind of throw numbers out there in my head and get some outside advice from a really good person that helps me. And we have a lot of fun doing that. So that's kind of how we come up with it.
Well, again, that's going to be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on ESPN and on ABC prime time. Ohio State is a 7.5-point favorite. And I'm not going to tell you all my score predictions. You're going to have to read that in the column tomorrow. So, y'all, it has been a lot of fun. And
I've had a great time. Thank you, Jason.
John, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
I appreciate it very much.
I think we should have you on again.
I would love that.
I think we're going to have you on again.
I would love that.
How about you? Y'all get ready because we're going to have him on again. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. I hope everybody has a very safe holiday and a very Merry Christmas. And looking forward to being in at the ball game in Memphis and getting those shots again for everybody. So.
Man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, 10:30 in the morning, Dudley Dawson and myself are going to be on the Arkansas Diamond Report. So make sure to jump over to YouTube or on the Hogville.net channel where you can watch us live under the live tab anytime that we are on. So y'all take care. This has been Otis, John, and myself here at Torchy's, as you all know, 7 o'clock every Thursday night. John, thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And go Hogs.
Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchy's Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchy's is the place. Torchy's location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchy's has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchy's has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.